Some footballers are remembered for moments. Jude Bellingham was shaped by responsibility. From his earliest days, Jude's relationship with football was built on understanding rather than instinct alone. Born in Stourbridge, England, he grew up in an environment where effort was expected and intelligence was rewarded. Football was not chaos to be survived. It was a system to be mastered. At Birmingham City's academy, coaches quickly realized they were dealing with something unusual. Jude did not play like a teenager reacting to the game. He played like a midfielder anticipating it. He scanned the pitch constantly, adjusted his body shape before receiving the ball, and positioned himself not where the ball was, but where it would be needed next. Physically, he developed early, but it was his decision-making that separated him. He rarely forced plays. He chose simple solutions under pressure, and when the moment demanded it, he carried the ball forward with authority, breaking lines and shifting momentum. At just 16 years old, Jude Bellingham stepped into professional football, not as a prospect, as a presence. He became the youngest first-team player in Birmingham City's history, trusted to operate in central midfield, the most demanding area of the pitch. There were no protective roles, no simplified tasks. Jude was asked to manage rhythm, cover space, and compete physically with seasoned professionals. And he did. Week after week, he played with composure that unsettled opponents and reassured teammates. He demanded the ball under pressure. He resisted challenges. He covered ground relentlessly, contributing both defensively and offensively. His energy was relentless but never chaotic. Every movement had purpose. What made Jude exceptional at that age was not just bravery, it was restraint. He understood when to slow the game down, when to recycle possession, when to push forward and attack space. Those decisions, invisible to many, defined Birmingham's balance. Statistically, his output did not overwhelm. But football intelligence rarely announces itself through numbers alone. What stood out was influence. Birmingham's midfield functioned differently with Jude on the pitch. Transitions were cleaner, defensive coverage more secure, the tempo more controlled. The club's response was unprecedented. Birmingham City retired Jude Bellingham's shirt number, not as a ceremonial gesture, but as recognition of influence. For a 17-year-old, with one professional season, it was a message. Some players leave a mark beyond time. At 17, Jude faced a decision that shapes careers: remain in England, protected by familiarity, or step into a system that demanded growth. He chose Borussia Dortmund, a club that doesn't protect talent, it tests it. Germany required more intensity, faster transitions, tactical discipline, physical courage. Jude adapted immediately. His first touches were confident, his positioning precise, his work rate relentless. He didn't look like a player learning the game. He looked like a midfielder learning how to command it. This was not the rise of a prodigy chasing moments. This was the construction of control. And it was only the beginning. Borussia Dortmund does not shape players gently. It exposes them. When Jude Bellingham arrived in Germany at 17 years old, he entered one of the most demanding development environments in European football. The Bundesliga is built on speed, intensity, and transition. Central midfielders are asked to defend space, press intelligently, and make decisions under constant pressure. For most teenagers, it is overwhelming. For Jude, it was clarifying. From his very first appearances, Bellingham showed an understanding of tempo that separated him from his peers. He did not press blindly, he pressed with purpose. He knew when to step forward and when to hold his position. His recoveries were timed to disrupt structure, not just win the ball. Tactically, Dortmund gave him freedom, but also responsibility. Jude operated across multiple midfield roles, adapting seamlessly depending on the opposition. As a deeper midfielder, he shielded the back line, intercepted passing lanes, and recycled possession with calm authority. As a box-to-box presence, he covered enormous distances, linking phases with relentless energy. And when deployed higher, he attacked space late, arriving in the box with perfect timing. Champions League football accelerated his transformation. European nights strip away comfort. They expose weakness. Jude thrived. Against elite midfields, he competed physically and intellectually. He read pressing triggers, adjusted his positioning, and controlled tempo in moments of chaos. He didn't just survive these matches, he influenced them. As seasons passed, his statistical output began to reflect his expanding role. Goals and assists increased, but so did metrics that define control: progressive carries, defensive recoveries, duels won, and pressing efficiency. Jude became one of the most complete midfielders in Europe before turning 20. But numbers still fell short of capturing his most valuable trait, leadership. Leadership emerged organically. Jude set the tone through intensity. He pressed first, he tracked runners relentlessly. He demanded effort and accountability from teammates older than him. In high-pressure moments, he took responsibility, not for applause, but for balance. Emotionally, Dortmund shaped him. The setbacks, the near misses, the moments where titles slipped away. Jude did not shrink, he absorbed. He matured. His mentality hardened. He learned that control is not about dominance alone, it is about resilience. By his final season in Germany, Jude Bellingham was no longer described as a prodigy, he was described as a leader, a reference point. A midfielder capable of organizing chaos at the highest level. Interest from Europe's elite was inevitable, but one destination represented more than a transfer. Real Madrid is not a club you join. It is a test you pass or fail. And Jude Bellingham had already passed every test placed in front of him. Joining Real Madrid is not a transfer. It is an examination. Few clubs in world football demand immediate authority. History weighs heavily. Expectations crush hesitation. At Real Madrid, talent alone is not enough. Control is required. Jude Bellingham arrived knowing this and embraced it. From his very first appearances in white, something felt different. He did not behave like a newcomer learning a system. He behaved like a player completing one. Deployed as an advanced midfielder, Jude added goals to his game, but never abandoned his foundation. Every run had intention. Every touch served a purpose. La Liga defenders struggled to read him. He was not fixed between lines. He floated intelligently, appearing where pressure collapsed. His late runs into the box became a weapon, not because of speed, but because of timing. He arrived unseen, and when the moment came, he finished with calm authority. Statistically, his debut season at Real Madrid exploded. Goals arrived in decisive matches, match winners, openers, equalizers. But numbers again told only part of the story. Beneath the headlines was control. Jude integrated seamlessly into a midfield shaped by legends. Playing alongside Toni Kroos and Luka Modric demanded intelligence and humility. Jude listened. He adapted. He learned how to manipulate rhythm at the highest level. When to slow play, when to accelerate, when to dominate space without the ball. Defensively, his contribution remained relentless. He pressed with intensity, tracked runners, and covered vast distances. His physical presence allowed Real Madrid to maintain balance, even when attacking aggressively. He became the connective tissue between defense and attack. Champions League football amplified his authority. European nights demand clarity under pressure. Jude thrived. Against elite opposition, he did not chase the game. He controlled phases. He absorbed pressure. He chose moments to accelerate and punished mistakes ruthlessly. What separated Jude at Madrid was adaptability. He adjusted to tactical shifts mid-match. He accepted different roles without ego. In some games, he dominated possession. In others, he became the decisive runner, always effective, always reliable. Mentally, Jude showed maturity beyond his years. The weight of expectation never altered his behavior. No excess celebration, no panic under criticism. His focus remained internal. Control was not just how he played, it was how he lived the game. Real Madrid did not just sign a midfielder, they integrated a future leader. And at the highest level of football, Jude Bellingham proved that control is not inherited, it is earned. Jude Bellingham is not chasing moments. He is constructing authority. In an era where football moves faster than ever, control has become the rarest currency. Midfields are stretched, transitions are violent, space disappears instantly. And yet Jude Bellingham operates with clarity. His game is not reactive, it is anticipatory. What separates Jude is not just versatility, it is intentionality. Every movement serves a purpose. When he drops deep, he stabilizes. When he advances, he destabilizes. He does not need constant touches to dominate a match. He needs moments, precisely chosen ones. Historically, the greatest midfielders shaped eras not through numbers alone, but through presence. They dictated rhythm, they absorbed pressure. They decided when games became chaotic and when they returned to order. Jude fits this lineage naturally, not by imitation, but by understanding. Tactically, his profile reflects modern demands. He can function as a controller, a carrier, and a finisher. He reads pressing triggers instinctively. He adjusts his positioning mid-phase. He understands when to protect space and when to attack it. This adaptability makes him resistant to tactical trends. Systems evolve. Control remains. International football adds another dimension. Representing England brings expectation, scrutiny, and emotional weight. Jude embraces it. He does not seek refuge in structure. He becomes the structure. His performances suggest future leadership, not symbolic but functional. A midfielder around whom systems are built. The future offers milestones rather than limitations. Champions League titles, domestic dominance, Ballon d'Or conversations. But Jude's career trajectory suggests something deeper than trophies. It suggests relevance, longevity, authority across generations. Football often celebrates extremes, speed, strength, flair, but sustained greatness belongs to those who master balance. Jude Bellingham represents that balance. Physicality without recklessness, intelligence without hesitation, ambition without chaos. His legacy will not be defined by a single goal or a single season. It will be defined by trust, by the way teammates respond to his presence, by the way opponents alter their approach, by the way matches feel when he is on the pitch. This is not a player waiting for history. This is a player shaping it. And if you value football stories that explore depth over drama, understanding over spectacle, then Untold Football exists for you. If this documentary changed how you see Jude Bellingham, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. New stories arrive here for those who want to understand the game beyond the surface. Because moments fade, highlights blur, but control endures.